We've got a good group, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone, and welcome. It's so nice to see everyone on the screen, so thank you all so much for joining with us tonight. My name is Jessica, and I'm with QSMA's Family Support Department. Welcome to our wellness webinar series tonight. We're really excited, and we're really appreciative of the support from our presenting sponsor, Genentech. They've been supporting this series for us, which we've been hosting since January. We've had a lot of great topics so far, and we're very excited for tonight's art topic. So currently everyone is muted during the presentation. If you have any feedback or questions, there is a chat box feature on your toolbar, so feel free to type in any questions you have. And then there's also an option.
Jess, I'm not sure. Is it just me? I'm hearing that you're muted.
Oh. Huh. That's weird.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it cut out right when you were talking about the chat box.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. So I just wanted to point out a couple features. So there is the chat box feature that you can find on your toolbar. If you have questions, you can submit them through there. And then there's also a button for a raise hand. So if you have questions, you can also submit them through the raise hand too. And we will be having a Q&A session at the end of the webinar too. So you can always save your questions for at the end as well. And then I also wanted to point out one other thing. We will be recording tonight's presentation. So if you don't want to be on video, you can absolutely turn it off. But this is going to be an interactive, fun session, and we'd love to see what everyone's working on. So it'd be great to see you all. And if you have any additional questions after the presentation, you can always contact QSMA's Family Support team at familysupport@qsma.org. And now we'd like to welcome our speaker, Jennifer Lamish. Jennifer is a board-certified art therapist and licensed professional counselor. She's also attended several of our past in-person conferences. She's offered workshops on the siblings, families, and care for the caregivers. So we're excited to have her join us virtually tonight. And with that, I will let her take it over and introduce the interactive presentation on Thinking Spring Family Art-Based Therapy. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, everybody. Ooh, okay, I am. I unmuted and muted myself again all at once. It's so wonderful to see a lot of numbers and faces and screens. I'm excited that people wanted to join doing art. I wish that we could have all been doing this in person because I miss the in-person conferences that are so lovely every year at QSMA. But I just want to let you know a little bit about art therapy in case no one has ever participated or done anything art therapy before. So basically, if you think about it, it is the therapeutic use of art making. So it combines counseling and it combines art making into one. And art therapists have education in both of those areas so that they can support patients or clients or families, whoever it is that they're working with, to meet the goals. So for example, today though, our goal is, I love that they're doing the wellness webinars, and I would love to do some art with everyone too, and maybe give you some more ideas for things you can do off screen as well. So I'm going to make sure I have the right view. And if you haven't put it on gallery view yet, everybody, you might want to, if you would like to be able to see each other and or share art while we're making it. Okay. And if you did not hear the two supplies that did not get mailed to you, one that we could use for tonight if you wanted, although scissors are not a necessity. If you have scissors, you might want to get some scissors, and a little bowl of water we're going to need, or a cup, because those the clear sort of pipettes, we call them, we're going to put them in water, or we're going to fill them with water to use on our art project. Okay, but that is, we're going to do that part of the project second. So the first thing I would like everyone to do when they're looking at their art supplies is everybody has received these hearts, okay? And the first thing we're gonna do is I want you to pick 2 of them, and we are going to make those 2 hearts into look like a butterfly for spring, okay? So there are 2 different ways you can do this. If you attach them point to point this way, if you think about it, and then we're going to decorate, it can look like the butterfly this way. Some people prefer to do it top to bottom, and that looks like a butterfly that way. So there, again, I like to give people lots of choices for their art making. And so what I want you to decide which way you think it might look more like how a butterfly looks when you think of a butterfly. And then we're going to use the glue stick that we got to attach it either side to side. You're going to hold it either way you want. You're probably going to glue it the same way. But once we decorate it, we're going to be able to decide which way we want to decorate it from there. Okay? So I'm going to glue mine together just to show you. Okay. So I just put mine together side to side like this. Does anyone want to hold up theirs and show theirs as well? That maybe isn't as old as I am. And it's okay if you don't want to hold it up. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do is figure out how you want your butterfly to look. Butterflies have lots of colors. Butterflies often have, I went like this with my finger, but they often have that one sort of line down the middle. And you can use some of the different little pieces of paper that we got in the mail. And you can use whichever colors you want to decorate it. So, or to make that centerpiece and to decorate it. I noticed that some of the papers are tissue paper. You got 2 kinds of squares in the mail. Hold on, opening my bag of goodies. There's really small squares that are kind of thick. And then there's the really thin tissue paper squares that are bigger in size, okay? So one of the things that works really well with the flimsy tissue paper is to crumble it up. I'm covering up my eyes to do that, but you can crumble. Oh, I see a butterfly. Someone's holding theirs up. You can crumble it up. It's hard to see that little tiny piece, okay? So, and it crumbles really easily and it still glues well with the glue stick. I am going to add a few, let's see, I'm going to find a different color that will be easily seen. And I'm going to make the center body of the butterfly. And then I'm going to hold it up to show everybody how I did mine. The good thing about tissue paper is it doesn't need a lot of glue to stick. Okay. So I just put mine in a row to look like the center body. And then I'm going to use lots of different colors to decorate around it. And if you got those scissors that we were talking about, you can also cut your papers a lot smaller if you want to for decoration. And then I wonder Are you going to make your butterfly have the same color on both sides? Or are you going to make your butterfly look different on each side? Because the actual butterflies sometimes don't look the same on either side. So I started to decorate mine a little bit right now. I'm going to make sure. Okay. I thought there was maybe a question. It's hard to get to all the things. Okay. Now, there are also markers that came in your packet. So if you wanted to use maybe your favorite color, purple's my favorite color. I don't know if everybody else has one favorite color or lots of favorite colors, but you can draw designs on your butterfly as well. I like the swirl a lot. Whenever I'm drawing on things, I draw this a swirl on a lot of things. So you can make your butterfly with different tissue paper, with crumbling it up. You can add spots to it if you want. You can make it look realistic if you want. Another part that sometimes kids remind me about when you're making a butterfly is the little antenna that stick up on the top of their head. So if you wanted to, you could fold the tissue paper to be skinny enough to make little antenna on top of their head. Let's see, I'm gonna glue mine and then I'll hold it up again to show you how I did mine. I'm gonna glue it onto the back instead of the front. One. Oh, do I see some people holding up butterflies? I looked down and I missed one. All right. I've tried to fold them really skinny, but they didn't get as skinny as I wanted because I was folding really fast to show everybody. But I made these to look like the antenna. I wish that we could have mailed you like a whole trunk full of art supplies. Or if I got to see everybody in person to do this, we would have had some really sparkly stuff like glitter glue or stickers or sequins. But if you have any of those kinds of fun things at your house, you could add them to your project too if you wanted to. Okay. How is everyone doing on their butterfly? Oh, I got a thumbs up. What did people like? Do people have a preference? I know it's hard to, let's see. Maybe we say, did anyone crumble the tissue paper like I did? Like this one? Or did everybody just keep their squares big? Did anyone draw and decorate their butterfly? I see markers in someone's hand, so somebody drew. All right. Oh, some people took out their wet glue, I see, at their house. Lovely. That's really helpful. Oh, look at the pretty crumbled tissue paper. That's awesome. Okay. And I love how somebody has their cute dog as their photo on their Zoom thing. I love that too. That's really smart. Okay. Ooh, someone has not paper clips, pipe cleaners at their house, and they're using them to make the antenna. Look at that. That looks really great. Okay. I want everyone to feel like they have had a good amount of time to decorate their butterfly a little bit. So we're going to take, I might be a little bit quiet for a couple minutes just so we can get some more decorating on it. We want them to look really ready and colorful for spring. I don't know where you all are, but I'm in Pennsylvania and it is not as springy today as it should feel. It was very, very cold, but sunny, so I'll be happy with the sun. Another cool way to use the tissue paper, if you like to get really like sticky and messy, is you can mix like an Elmer's, like the kind of glue you use at school, or I see someone's using a sparkly Elmer's glue. And if you mix that with like a little bit of water to get it like a little bit more less thick than it comes out of the bottle, you can use a paintbrush and almost paint with the tissue paper. And then the tissue paper, when it gets wet and you layer it together, all the colors like come through and they look really, really nice when the tissue paper squares are really wet, because I know you're going to have extra supplies left over because you couldn't possibly fit all the squares on your butterfly. Maybe you can. It would be really a lot of layers. Mine's starting to look a little better. Colorful like spring, right? So how I need everyone to maybe give me an idea. Do we think we need a few more minutes for our butterflies still? Okay, people are saying yes. Good. I'm so glad you're answering and nodding, even though you're muted. Thank you. There is no rush. I like a good amount of time for art. Yes, if you notice, Colleen did say if anybody would like to unmute to ask something or say something, that would be totally fine. I don't have to be the only one talking. I do love that butterfly with the, oh my God, pipe cleaner. I keep forgetting what they're called, pipe cleaners. I almost called them a pipette because this is called a pipette. So silly.
Beautiful.
It really is. All right, why don't we take, oh, good. Thank you, Sarah.
I'm giving it a go.
That's right. I like to say it's not just for kids. Most adults have stopped, they stopped taking art about 4th grade, which is why most adults are a little wary of making art. And we're also so used to people telling us or like how it's supposed to look when you make it. That's why I work really hard to pick out projects where it's going to look great no matter how anybody makes it. Because just like snowflakes, right? Butterflies are unique. So everyone's butterfly is going to look so cool and unique. How about we take like 2 more minutes to try to finish up butterflies? The good thing about having all these supplies at your house is that even if you don't finish it right now, you can work on it later. And sometimes when I'm doing art and it doesn't come out how I want it to, I have to walk away from it and then come back to it later to see if I can make it more like how I want it to look. Always redoing it over again. And the next project is going to get, I don't want to say messy, but a little bit messier than the glue stick one, just because the water part's fun. We are going to use, you don't have to get it ready yet, but we're going to be using the filter paper flower first. It kind of feels like a coffee filter, those of us adults who drink coffee every day. But it's actually color diffusing paper. But in a pinch, you can use coffee filters in their place. But the color diffusing paper comes out much better. When you do have that, though, you might want to put maybe a piece of paper underneath it or like a paper towel or something like that. Or maybe don't do it on your fanciest table. And you're going to need your markers. All right. So does everybody have one of their flowers now? I see some nods. Okay. So the first thing you want to do, everyone got 2 flowers, I believe, each person. So there are 2 ways we can do the flowers. I'm going to show you my favorite way first. And that is to first use the markers to color on the flower, okay? However you can. You can use all the colors. You can use only 2 colors. You definitely want to use at least more than 1 color. Or if you only want to use 1 color, then leave some of the like white space of the paper. But you can color on the flower however you want. Maybe use your favorite colors. Maybe try to mix colors. You can make it look like a flower. You don't have to make it look like a flower because it's still a flower shape. So when we finish the activity, it's still going to look like a flower. I used my favorite color, purple, again, of course. I started mine a little bit. Mine kind of looks like a flower right now. I'm going to add some more colors into it though. And there is no rush to color as fast as me. I color really fast because I'm trying to talk and do the project with you. It looks nice if you put more than one color on top of each other too with markers. That doesn't usually work with markers on regular paper, but it does work on the color diffusing paper. I thought about having some good music while we were doing this, but it was too many buttons to be distracted by. I just wanted to be able to answer any art questions. So. All right. How's everyone doing with their coloring? We doing okay? Got a thumbs up. I see a smile. I'm guessing that my friend over there who keeps doing the thumbs up has done a lot of Zoom school this year. Because we've all learned the nonverbal thumbs ups and thumbs down, right? Or know you're muted, or hurry up and mute yourself, or unmute yourself. All right. Did anyone, how are we doing on our coloring? I see markers still going, so that's good. When you put the water on, it's the really fun part. So I want us all to do that part together. That's why I'm being quiet now, so we can all color.
Should we be trying to fill it in completely with all of our color, or should we be leaving some white space?
You can do either, to be honest. If you leave no white space, all the colors mix more and just make more like vivid mixing. They both look really cool, because if you leave a lot of white space, the marker color like moves into it, but just there's less marker, so it's lighter. It's kind of like if you did like almost like pastels versus really like bold colors, but okay. So the part, we're really not going to be able to see it all from each other though, because our projects are laying flats. But what you're going to do, and you don't have to rush to do it yet, but I'm just going to show everybody. I'm holding the bowl up. I did a bowl of water, but you want to take, you want to take the pipette, the thing that looks like looks like a squeegee kind of. You want to put it in the bowl and squeeze it so it fills up with water inside it. And then you want to squirt it on your flower where you just colored all the markers and watch the colors mix together. And if you don't get the whole thing wet in one with one burst of water, you can put it back in the bowl and fill it up again. You probably won't need more than like 2 or 3 because eventually the water travels all around to the whole filter paper or color diffusing paper, okay? And then you kind of watch the colors mix. Mine got really dark. As soon as it's not dripping wet, I'll hold it up. Sometimes it's hard to get the hang of squeezing it while it's empty to fill the water up to then squirt it on top, I know.
Can we put a piece of paper under it so that like
Yes.
the water doesn't go through?
Yes, you totally can so that you don't mess up your table. Yep.
Okay.
Honestly, since I work at a hospital, I take like the chucks with me to home visits that they put on the beds for kids, you know, so you don't make a mess on your bed. And I often do them on chucks. Put a piece of paper or a paper towel underneath. I did mine on a cardboard. And then after I did the water, this is how all my colors mixed. It's hard to see now. And then once it dries, it looks even better. Also, it's kind of cool to watch the colors mix together while it's mixing. Ooh, fancy, Sarah. Also, because you put it on a white background, you could see it better. That was smart. I could do that. Oh yeah, now it looks way better.
That looks great.
These are also really fun to add things on top of once they're dry, like sparkly stuff. If anyone has glitter glue or like sparkly markers, they look really nice to hang in a window. And then another thing you could think about, you wouldn't want to do it yet because everything is not completely dry, but you have a butterfly, right? We have a butterfly and we have a flower, like we have the start of a spring scene. So if you had a bigger piece of paper, you could glue it all on that, and maybe if you would have a whole spring scene. How'd the squirting go? Was the squirting fun at home? I see some people still squirting, so that's good. Oh, and I think someone might be using a spoon with water. That's really smart too. That's another way to do it. And a plastic and a spoon wouldn't give, you just don't want to take like a whole cup of water and dump it over because that would be too much water. Oh, look how beautiful. I'm pointing to it. But a spoon is, oh, and there's a rainbow one and another, oh, they look great. Oh, look at that one. Ooh, look at the red edges on that. That looks great. See, these are really fun. And I know that everybody got 2. Some people like to get the filter paper wet first. So you could wet it first and then you can put the marker on it. I prefer the way that we did it because I think it makes the colors come out better. But, and then everybody did get, I gotta reach for mine, sorry, that I'm standing up. Everybody got a rectangle shaped piece of the same diffusing paper. So you could cut something else out. It could be a spring theme, or sometimes what I often like to do with kids is maybe have a big person in the house make a big like bubble letter that's like the first letter of your name, and you can cut that out and then you could decorate that because that can look really nice, you know, in your room with the first letter of your name, or you could do the first letter of your last name so that it could be somewhere for the whole family to enjoy it. But that's why we gave you extra of the filter paper to cut out anything that you wanted it to be. You could add more stuff for spring, right? If you wanted to cut out a sun, or maybe a little like a different kind of flower, maybe something like that. I can't believe everyone was like showing their flowers. They came out so pretty. Another thing,
Easter egg.
yes.
They
Oh,
could do an
that's
Easter
right. An Easter egg. Actually, we did that, and I can't believe that slipped my mind because last week when we cut out flowers, we made some Easter eggs too, and it's hard to make, like, to keep the stripes. Like, if you try to make a whole striped Easter egg and then you put the water on it, it turns tie-dye and the stripes go away. But it was really fun to see if we could keep the stripes in the Easter eggs. That is a really good idea. We did Easter eggs. I can't believe I didn't think of that. And sometimes, I'm trying to think, oh, these droppers are also really fun to use with, you can like use any kind of paint and you could water it down a little bit more. So you wouldn't want to take paint straight from the bottle in these because they won't squirt as well. But if you make it a little more watery, it's really fun. And then it's a really it's fun to maybe drop from like a farther distance outside onto the ground, or onto paper on the ground. That's fun to do. I've done that with kids outside. And even if you are in your chair and the paper's all around you on the grounds, people could do it and then pick up your artwork. So it's dropping from a larger distance. It's pretty fun. It actually, that reminded me a little bit of when they did like the painting in the chairs at the conference, right? When they had the paper on the ground and they were doing the paintings that way. So, and you're squirting it onto the ground, so. RP, oh, I see, we're doing markers. Are we doing our second flower? Sarah, you're trying to dry yours.
I put way too much water on.
I know. If you do it on a paper towel, often I do them on like a paper towel or like an old towel that it doesn't matter if it gets different colors. It's also fun when you made me think of it with the Easter eggs. You could do it with watered down food coloring too, or sometimes I do it with liquid watercolors. Liquid watercolors don't come off your hands very easily. So unless you're ready to, like, you know how when you tie dye, it takes, like when you use official tie dye, sometimes your hands are dirty for a while. So if you want to look like an artist, then you can use liquid watercolors because it doesn't come off your hands very well. But I loved that I saw someone was doing it with a spoon. A spoon is a really good idea.
I did it with paper in the background and then imprinted on my paper too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, both.
You got like 2 out of it then. I'm trying to think of some other things. You know, really fun things to add to the butterfly for extra decoration could be buttons, if you have extra buttons around the house, or little foam pieces, or you could cut pretty colors and shiny things out of magazines. Sometimes I use things from magazines, and you could add that to your butterfly. I see someone's holding up their flower. It looked really green and pretty. I see people are doing their second one. Ooh. These Crayolas actually worked really, really well. Sometimes some markers don't like blend as well, but these worked really, really well. I noticed that. So thank you for buying Crayola. I see people are cutting stuff out and using their paper. Oh, I would love to see what people cut out of the paper and used it for. I didn't use mine. That looks good. Give everyone some minutes to finish up working. But if anyone wants to show their art or has any questions about art, I can also put my, if anyone has any questions even after, I don't mind giving my work email about any kind of art supplies or art therapy or anything like that. That would be okay. Websites that I like for ideas and activities. I'm trying to think of websites that I use. There is a teacher. I'm not actually a teacher. I mean, I'm not a certified teacher, but there is a website called Teachers Helping Teachers that I really like because teachers post different ideas on it. And I've never posted on it because I'm not signed up officially, not being a teacher, but I do like that. I like, what else? I'm trying to think of good websites that I get ideas from. I really honestly look a lot on Pinterest. And when I see what people post, I try to find a way to adapt it so that it could, for either a specific patient or family I'm working with, or adapt it to a way that will help with like kids who are in the hospital, if I'm doing something with kids who are in the hospital. And so I find a lot of ideas on Pinterest as well. And then some good websites that show different ideas and activities, like some of the art supply ones. They might show you like different ideas and also have the supplies. I don't always buy my supplies there, but I do often look on like some of the like instructional or art education kind of websites. One of them would be like SNS or Scholastic. Well, they don't always have supplies there, but like Scholastic has good ideas, and I'm trying to think what else. And then not necessarily just art ideas, but a lot of ideas for ways to like adapt things or make things more usable or useful for all different people or families or kids. I sometimes get ideas on the Courageous Parents Network, and especially because a lot of times sometimes parents post on there, and I get a lot of great ideas sort of hearing how parents adapt things and then how I can then bring it back to other people too. So thank you, Tiffany, for asking a question too. Ooh, I see a nice circle there that doesn't have water yet.
I figured since our first question came through now, I'll just bring up a few other questions that we had
Okay,
before we get
thanks, Sarah.
closing. Yeah. So for art therapy, is there a certain, like, who gets art therapy? What are the benefits of it? Can anyone do it?
Well, I would like to think that anyone could do it. And I mean, I think it could benefit anyone, but hopefully if someone is participating in art therapy, they're working with a counselor that can make it be beneficial to them, I guess, and what their needs are or what the goals are. Or, you know, certainly today, what we were doing was really different than maybe even some of the workshops I've done at the Cure SMA conference. Or so it's really a matter of like figuring out how it would best meet their needs, or an individual person's needs. But it may not be like, I think anyone could benefit from it, but it might not be like the perfect modality for everyone. Someone could benefit perhaps from music therapy more than art therapy, or someone else might benefit from art therapy more than music therapy, or someone else really maybe doesn't want a creative outlet and they might benefit the most in their mind from talk therapy only, you know, or a play therapy mode. So, as an art therapist, I always have a lot of art ideas, but at least in my current role, when I visit families and I visit kids at their home, and we don't always only do art. It's really, how can I support your family and where you're at right now? And I do a lot, and I have a lot of art ideas, and I probably have a million art ideas and then maybe only like 10 other kinds of ideas. But art isn't always like what everyone needs at every moment. So I won't say that that's like the only thing that I do, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And as someone, and this is actually a personal question, as someone who doesn't consider themselves a great artist, are there any big lessons of art therapy that you try to kind of help people understand, whether it's creativity and owning your creativity, or owning or finding peace in art therapy, and that kind of, you know, it helps with stress, it helps just foster creativity. What would you say are kind of the bigger messages that you tend to see or tend to give?
Well, I would say that art itself is sort of intrinsically healing. Like making art can be intrinsically healing, except if you really like can't stand it at all. And if it's going to only cause you anxiety or stress to even think about making art, then it's not intrinsically healing for you. So that's when it might not be the best thing for everyone. But a lot of us grew up with like, here, this is what we're doing in art class today, and this is how it has to look. And even art teachers now don't get to do that. They don't get to say to their kids, this is how it has to look. So if we could all sort of take a step back and see that it might not be something that's going to hang on a museum wall when it's done and sell for $1 billion, but it could really have meaning to you and be meaningful. And maybe it is not something that is worthy of, you may or may not make a product that you feel like is worthy of sharing with everyone. Sometimes you might make something that's really personal. And then sometimes you might feel really successful and then make something to share with everyone. So, and if you can learn that some days, you know, you might make better art than other days, then you can maybe cope with like the idea that your art might not always look great, right? If you're not feeling well, or, you know, there are certain kinds of art that aren't my favorite. If I signed on tonight and I wasn't the person running it and the person said, today we're going to draw a person, I might have gone like screaming to the other room because I'm not great at drawing people. So, oh, there's an Easter egg. I see it, right? Yay! I love it. So, you know, I think a lot of times that's why I said earlier, like often adults haven't taken art since at least, I don't know, 4th or 6th grade. And so they may not want to make the art. Although often when I go on my home visits, even if it's geared towards the kids making art, the parents are around and sometimes they're like, can parents jump in and do this too? And they do it and it's okay. And they enjoy the time with their kids as well, which I also like. So, you know, maybe you're not making your own part, but if you're supporting your child doing it and you're all working on a family project, it's really fun. So.
That's so great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. This has been so fun. Yeah, if everybody wants to hold up your art, please do so. I know we've been watching and seeing so many great ones. I was holding my daughters up as well. Oh yeah, that's so great. But they all look so great. Thank you so much for doing this, Jennifer. I know everybody
Look at on the big
definitely
paper.
enjoyed it. Oh, I love that.
That's like a whole scene.
Yeah. This was wonderful. But thank you so much again for sharing this fun presentation, Jennifer. This was so great. This is Colleen, everybody. If you didn't know me, I'm Colleen McCarthy O'Toole from Cure SMA. And just wanted to say thank you all for being here tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. We wanted to say a huge thank you to our presenting sponsor, Genentech, for their support in making this happen. They provided the sponsorship for us that let us send everybody the art supplies in advance, which was so wonderful. You will all be receiving a follow-up email with a survey link, and we really appreciate it if you guys can all fill that out. We definitely would love to do more of these webinars, and we'll continue to do so. And we also will be emailing some of our randomly selected prize winners within the next 24 hours. So some of you may receive that and you will win a prize. And if there's anything that we can do for you or your family at any time, please just contact us at familysupport@curesma.org. And thank you all for joining us tonight and for being here. And thanks again, Jennifer. We really appreciate it. It was so fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And hi, Vanessa. Jump on at the end.
Thank you, everyone, again. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.